carnage on Wall Street.
Markets falling, tumbling.
Stocks plunging. Down, down, down. The Nasdaq's getting crushed. Small caps are getting crushed.
This is a shock to the system.
It is ugly out there. Worse than worst case scenario.
Stocks are getting slashed and burned. $2.5 trillion vaporized.
I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. It's getting really bad out there right now, and it could get much worse. Because these tariffs, as implemented right now, could be the worst thing for the United States economy and the global economy that we have seen in 100 years. I'm not even kidding you, 100 years. So we're going to go through this interview of Howard Lutnick right now, and I'm going to chop it up to save you guys a little bit of time. This is a guy that's in charge of Trump's tariffs. He advises him what to do, and he's in charge of all the negotiations for these tariffs. I'm not trying to clickbait you to watch this whole video to get views or whatever it may be. I want you guys to make money. I obviously want to make money too. This interview is critical for the stock market because we have to know definitively what is going to happen with tariffs. So let's listen to the man himself, Howard Lutnick.
One of the things that I was speaking to a whole number of CEOs yesterday who need to actually make some decisions. And the question is, how soon do they make those decisions? And they talk about what they think of as this game of chicken, a almost political game, which is to say they don't know whether these tariffs, which are being announced today, are going to be the same in a month, 2 months, 6 months, and more importantly, in 4 or 5 years, when in fact the factories that they would have to invest in today would be up and running. What do you say to that CEO who says, you know what, I'm actually going to I'll take a flyer and I'll wait a year or two, see how this all plays out before I do anything, which also means that we're going to have a real freeze in terms of investment?
I think you're going to see, and we've been feeling it every day, that you're going to build in America. That this is a reordering of global trade.
If you're a company sitting here right now debating, do we onshore our manufacturing into America? Do we want to spend all this money? And I'm personally going to think like this. Why would I want to do that? Because Trump's only in office for 4 years. And if the Republicans keep it up like this, there's a good chance that they're not going to get reelected. And all these tariffs are going to be dropped anyways. So a lot of CEOs, a lot of business owners view these tariffs as temporary. So they're not willing to bring as much manufacturing back to America as what you would expect. Maybe if Trump was in office for like 10 or 15 years, they would do it. But only a 4-year term, I just don't see it like, oh my God, we're going to bring all this money back. And all these companies that are talking about bringing money back like TSM and Apple, a lot of that capital was already committed to America anyways. So yes, Trump's going to run on a headline that, oh yeah, Apple invests $500 billion in America, but a lot of that money was already promised to come back. Now, this is just one of the big issues going on with this whole tariff debacle. There is some good things and there is some bad things. So we're going to cover everything in this video right now. It's going to be a little bit longer, but you need to know all this information if you're an investor, because by the end of this video, you will know definitively, do we buy the dip or are we going to go down lower? So let's dive into the other issues.
There is some, I don't know if I'd call it confusion, but there's some downright derision about using a trade deficit imbalance and then subtracting it and, you know, putting it over another and coming up with some of these what look like almost arbitrary numbers taken. There it is. Did you come up with that? I don't know if you.
All right, the council, stop. The Council of Economic Advisors, right, coupled with the United States Trade Representative, they have huge staffs of economists who study this and have been studying this for years. They put out the non-tariff trade barriers.
So on the left-hand column of the chart right here, they're factoring in that trade imbalance that we have, meaning the trade deficit, because of course we're going to buy more than what we ship out because the cost of labor in America is so much more expensive. Even if we onshore all this stuff and do all these crazy tariffs, just look at the average monthly manufacturing wage for USA versus China, for example. The typical person in the USA makes roughly $6,000 per month, versus in China, it's roughly $1,000 per month. So it's 6 times more expensive from a labor aspect to produce this pen in America versus what it is in China. So the formula that they're basing all these tariffs on is totally unrealistic because, of course, we're going to have a trade deficit with these countries, and Trump thinks it's going to be realistic to not have a trade deficit with these countries. And if we do, they're just going to be tariffs, so hopefully that manufacturing comes back to America. But I promise you, we're not going to be making iPhones in America. Maybe this Expo marker will make it in America somehow, but main manufacturing like iPhones and TVs and stuff like that, it's not going to be made in America for a long time.
And we're going to go 0-0. We want to make it fair across the board, but how likely is that? How soon do you expect to see some concessions? Or conversely, retaliatory tariffs with just cause this to go much longer than anyone probably wants, to be more costly, and could be a full-scale trade war if it goes that way. Which are you expecting?
I expect most countries to start to really examine their trade policy towards the United States of America and stop picking on us. Stop saying that we can't sell our corn to India. Stop saying that we can't sell our beef anywhere. Just stop treating us so poorly. If we are the great consumer of the earth, the United States buys everybody's products. We buy everybody's goods. You just have to treat us fairly.
Yeah, we do buy goods from a bunch of other countries because the quality is roughly the same, and of course it's way cheaper. Who on earth wouldn't want to do that? And yeah, countries like Vietnam and the United Kingdom, they are starting to negotiate with us, but the whale in the room, which is China, read the headline right here. Trade war escalates as China hits back with 34% tariff on all U.S. goods, all of them. So this is very bad because China is the whale in the room. They are our biggest trading partner. We need to work a deal out with them, and it's not looking good because they just stepped it up a little bit. Tit for tat, they retaliate, maybe we retaliate again. We go into a full-blown trade war.
I mean, think about it. We all hold our iPhones, which we love. Why do they have to be made in Taiwan and China? Why can't those be made with robotics in America? And you know what Donald Trump has said? They're going to be made in America.
So this is one of the biggest problems for me right here, and I can't really wrap my head around why they're doing this, but in order to make an iPhone in America, many people estimate it's going to cost roughly $2,000 to $30,000 to do it, based on how many of the actual components in the iPhone are actually made in America versus imported. And also the fact that he said we're going to bring iPhone manufacturing back to America with robotics. You don't think that Foxconn is making these iPhones in China with robotics? I mean, what more are we going to do in China versus here from a robotic standpoint? Everything is automated in China. Just go watch any other video on this of actually how iPhones get made. They're pretty much all automated when they get built. I mean, they're making millions and millions of these iPhones, and the precision has to be exact. This is robots building these iPhones right now, not an actual human doing this and putting a screw into it. So the unrealistic expectations just for the iPhone, for example, is just showing you that they are so detached from reality that they might actually stick to their guns. They might actually keep the tariffs as tough as they actually are because they are determined to bring iPhone manufacturing back to America. They want to make TVs in America. They want to make chips in America. They want to make everything in America. I just don't think it's going to happen because of that first chart I showed you initially of the labor cost in America is $6,000 versus $1,000 per month in China. It's 6 times cheaper from a labor standpoint to make the same product or good in China versus here. And even if you tariff it, even if you do 100% tariff on the iPhone, for example, it's still going to go from $1,000 to say $2,000. It's still a lot cheaper than $30,000 if we make it in America. So Apple is just going to eat that cost in the form of lower margins and raising their prices a little bit. So we're going to pay a little bit more, which is going to cause inflation. And they're going to eat a little bit of it too because they don't want to pass the whole 100% on to us. So there's going to be less demand because prices are going to go up. We're going to have inflation. The economy is going to slow down. And the Federal Reserve is not going to know what to do. And I just listened to Jerome Powell today. He's basically saying that the economy is in a very, very tough position because we have a slowing economy with inflation going back up. So typically the way that the Fed works is if you have a slowing economy, you just go cut interest rates to try to support the economy. But you can't cut interest rates because cutting interest rates will try to support the economy. And when you do that, inflation might go higher. So you help one thing, but you hurt something else. So the Fed is in this very, very tricky position of stagflation, which now seems to be more likely to happen. I know I said on other videos I didn't think it was going to happen, but the fact that these tariffs came out so strong and so hard and they're being so determined to actually follow through with this stuff, this could be very, very bad for America. So let's talk about one more thing that really gives us a clear picture on if they're going to stick with this or if they're going to back down. Let's take a look.
I think you're going to see, and we've been feeling it every day, that you're going to build in America, that this is a reordering of global trade, and it's really thoughtful. If you understood how rough these other countries are on American products, rough, and their tariffs are just like the tip of the iceberg. The classic, the rest of the iceberg below the water is so rough and so difficult, and they have subsidies and they have trade barriers, and you can't sell because if you lean 1 inch to the right or 1 inch to the left, oh, you're not allowed to sell. I mean, I tell the story, we made a deal in 2012 to take Korean cars. In exchange, they were going to take our produce and agriculture. And when McDonald's tried to bring in French fries, They actually said we can't bring in the French fry. The American company can't bring in the French fries because we couldn't prove the origin of the potato. I am telling you, the rules of the world are so stacked against us that we are just the consumer of the world, and it's going to end. And once that ends, and once America wakes up to it, and now all of America is going to wake up to it, that everybody is going to build their factories here. Everybody's going to move their factories here. And America is going to become the producer of much, much more of what we consume. There will become a balance. Interest rates will be much, much lower. The United States of America will be much, much stronger. We are growing much too much like the rest of the world. Our growth rate should be double or triple them because we are the greatest economy and we are feeding the world. And Donald Trump would like to have America first. How about we feed America first? We start building these factories. You're going to start to see GDP, domestic production go up. We talk about buying foreign cars. That's consumption. That's not domestic production. We're going to start to see domestic production dramatically rise, and that's what Donald Trump is focused on.
So at the end of the day, we're all here for one thing, and that is just simply to make money. Do we buy the dip, or is the market going to keep going down? And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Nobody on planet Earth knows what the market's going to do in the short term. But I will tell you this. The next 40% move in the market, whether it's up or down, I will bet you anything that the next 40% move is going to be up. The next 40% move in the market is not going to be down. And understand this, the stock market is the only place on planet Earth where things go down in price, they get cheaper, and people don't want to buy more, they want to sell more. But when things are going up in price, people want to buy more. You got to understand that the emotional aspect of investing is what wipes most people out. So right now, I'm dollar cost averaging into my portfolio. I built a couple $1 million portfolio. Yes, I'm down a little bit right now, but you have to understand that I am a long-term investor. Look at this dip right here. I was buying the crap out of it, and in that time frame, my Charles Schwab account was roughly $300,000. Right now, it's roughly $1 million. So I turned $300K into roughly $1 million in just a couple years. And yeah, I'm down a little bit from $1 million. So all these people that have this short-term mindset, they panic when the market goes down and they don't see that as opportunity, you will probably never make money consistently in the long run in the stock market. But the people that really want to make money in the long run in the stock market with stocks and options and do this the right way, not emotionally, and understand exactly how to value the market, understand the risk, understand the reward, click the link below, do my course. It's $80 right now. It's never going to be this cheap again. But if you don't want to do the course, watch this video right here. I break down the 10 key things that you have to know right now for 2025 to scale your portfolio to millions of dollars. It's going to change everything how you look at the world of finance. Watch the video. I'll see you guys there.